Oh, I always start the stream with a yawn.
Well, that's how it works. I guess I should get
Is
my
it?
mood lighting up.
Is it? So it's good to know when you and I are talking to each other, we can see each other in the bottom corner of the screen, but on the live broadcast, you can't.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You got that French fried podcast. Oh no. Great. The default image it threw up there is me covering my face. Fabulous.
Lol.
Yeah, cool. And there's no way to change that. There is absolutely no way to change that. That's cool.
That is hilarious.
Well, holy crap.
What?
We got people like already.
Oh, that's really nice. Nice.
Howdy Moonblaze. Hello, Alan McMinn. Boy, I is Timmy.
Hello, Timmy.
Mimezinga says,
I got it from the start.
Yep, just checking randomly. Lucky puppy. All right, I don't want top chat. I want live chat. I hate that it defers to top chat. And you wouldn't think there'd be much of a difference, but there is a difference. And that's...
Well, the stupid thing is the fact that if we're kind of moderating the channel, wouldn't we want to see what the fuck we're supposed to be seeing? It seems like that would make sense.
Yeah, one would think.
Let me pull this up myself. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's wrong. Bleh.
Okay. Hey, last place is also here. We're filing in. Filing in.
Okay. So. I don't know.
It's so weird. I swear to God. It's like, why does YouTube even give you an option to set what the start time is if it doesn't start until you just hit start?
I don't know.
You know what? I think you do know. I think you do know, and you're just not sharing.
Yep. That's why.
You clearly weren't listening to me.
No, I'm just not sharing. I'm keeping it to myself. It's a secret.
Is it safe though?
It's safe.
Yeah. It's not really much of a secret anymore. Apparently, last place likes the different headsets we both wear. Well, yours was like cheap Chinese easy, and I guess mine's cheap Chinese too.
Yeah, it's an Amazon thing for like $7.
Yeah, I need to get one of those because this was like $7 6 years ago. This is just a Logitech.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to wear like nice headsets? Like really nice headsets?
Maybe he's joking and insulting us for our lack of proper headwear.
That is also true. That's also a possibility. Sarcasm does not translate particularly well
to text
over the webosphere. Yeah.
So, let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
Did you want to give it a little beat? Give a little bit more time for people to know that we're here, or did you want to jump right on in?
Well, I don't know. Did anyone get the premiere that we were going to start at 2:15?
I don't think so, but it's still, anybody that, hit that little follow bell in the corner there, that shitty YouTube thing, actually gets.
And that won't tell you a goddamn thing. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let me pull up chat. Hello, chat.
Moonblaze says, I only just got some over-the-ear headphones. I've been using earbuds for years. They are so much better. Mimezinga says, I once tried a lesser-than-cheap headset. It broke in 1 month. New rule, never spend more than $30 on a mouse keyboard headset.
That's how you never get mechanicals.
Rob looks like a gamer, and Chris makes me think of a music mixer, which is hilarious because we're the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I guess y'all probably remember in the early days of the show, I wore my nice studio headphones, those old Pioneers of mine.
Yeah, you had the Pioneers, and I had the. What did I have?
They're not Sony's. Maybe
no,
Sony?
Audio Tech.
Audio Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, the Audio-Tech headphones, which were fine. They were noise-canceling headphones, but Audio-Tech, like, ends up for the price. They are a shitty brand. Like, it wasn't that they just broke. The plastic on them started to just fail, and they started cracking and falling apart.
Got really brittle.
Yep. The good old days, says Alan McNinn.
When we were so young and the video and audio wouldn't sync because we weren't using good equipment or good editing software, which was really the key.
Yeah.
Because we were recording high quality audio through the condenser mics, but we were recording really cheap, shitty video.
That one episode where we cough, ruined the audio.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It almost makes me feel like that really bad episode, we should do a revisit and make an actual better recording. Like, go back, read that chapter.
We ADR the entire thing.
No, I am not. I'm not.
Oh, that'd be great. That would be fantastic.
I'm not going to ADR it. By the way, this is great content here. That I guess I'll have to add to the tail end of the audio version, because the audio people don't get all this fun bants at the beginning of the episode.
Oh no. Nope. And that's what you get for not tuning in, kids.
Shinji, get in the goddamn mech.
Anime light. Okay.
I just love it. Your laptop screen is at the perfect angle.
Yes. No, that's not what I want. You son of a bitch. God damn it. Google. Why are you making this so much harder than it needs to be?
You looking at images? Because I can see the reflection of what you're looking at in your glasses.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Are you looking at panography? Are you looking at that pano?
I'm getting accent lighting so that I actually don't look like a blue monster. Because that's the problem. Is a lot of monitors show at a really high temperature because it's a little easier to see. High temperature actually means blue. Low temperature means orange.
Right.
Which is inverse of what you'd think, but it actually has to do with how high the frequency of light is.
Chris, we're all very familiar with light.
You are very familiar, and you're just sitting there with your freaking degree in cameraology, going, yes, we all know.
I wish my degree was in cameraology. Cameraology sounds like a hard science, other than the Bachelor of Arts that I have. Better to have a BA than a BS, though. Am I right?
Bah. Remember, kids, bombings, no. Okay, so welcome, everyone, to the Foally of Man. My name is Chris, and with me here today,
Robert.
And today we're going to be looking at a very, very special chapter of Pink Eyes, Chapter 7. It's not special for any particular reason. It's just I felt like introducing it that way.
So Pink Eyes is a derivative text from the original fanfiction Fallout Equestria, which combines the video game Fallout with My Little Pony and marries them together in a thick, pulsating, thrombosed organism of just fan fiction / fic fantasticness.
And we come from the position of Robert Brony. I think all My Little Pony is degeneracy.
Absolutely not. All right. I'm going to stomp this out right now. Correct. Yes, you make me to be the degenerate.
How? Fake news for fake views.
That's right. How freaking dare you? However, it's like I'm slowly being dragged into it over and over again. Last night, it was Moonblaze who said, what was it? That Moonblaze says, oh, yeah, because Robert hates My Little Pony. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't hate My Little Pony. No. And that's how it starts.
Yes. Indoctrination.
It starts out just you go from I don't hate My Little Pony to putting people in concentration camps and forcing them to watch the show.
Okay,
it's a slippery slope.
It is. So let's start from the beginning of this chapter. We actually start off from the perspective of a few, or at least the light shown onto some guards who are guarding the Big 52 tunnel.
Let's set the scene a little bit, though. We're on Tunnel Road, and one might say that we are on the road to Viridian City, as it were.
No, Sun City.
On the Big 52.
On the road to Sun City.
That's what this show's really missing.
A catchy tune.
Cheesy 90s theme music. You got to get right on that. You need some washed up hip hop guy to come sing a catchy intro, you know?
So, but anyway, we start from the perspective of the guards there, who are kind of in between, huddling behind.
Oh, cowering.
Yeah.
Behind Trigger Happy, the head guard.
They're kind of, in a sense, they're all kind of cowering behind each other.
Ooh, well, that's good.
Terrified of this thing that stands before them, the great catalyst of change.
That's right.
Almost an agent of chaos that brings order.
Wait. Doom Pony.
Doom Pony.
We haven't seen a zebra yet, have we?
Nope. Racism.
Shame. That's the thing I don't understand. How can zebras be racist? They're black and white. All right, case closed.
Delightful. Okay, so Trigger Happy is convinced that this thing that's standing in front of them is just a child, not anything special. But in dialogue, she is also expecting a monster. She's expecting some kind of evil thing. It's like, are you a ghost? No, I'm a filly.
Yeah.
What are you here? I'm here to find my mom.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like what a ghost would say.
Yeah. It's exactly what a communist would say.
Oh, geez. Better wiped than striped.
So they finally, they through some dialogue, they kind of realized that no, Puppy is not some grand evil thing, but just a small filly and a benevolent evil, a benevolent demon from a bygone era. And they show her that she says she needs to get inside the mountain, and they show her the big sealed door.
Well, we
claims that I forgot. Yeah, she did receive the day pass from Henrietta.
Correct. Henry preceded her and said, "You're going to see her in about a day, 2 days max at worst." She's like, whatever. This demon will get here eventually.
Yeah,
this is where she's supposed
unstoppable force of whatever. Unstoppable force of pink.
And I love that she rolls up and she's literally got the scooter strapped to her back, and just normal average day. But yeah, so they show her this big gate. It's got a big white. Does it have a goddess or does it say
just an alicorn?
An alicorn, okay. But specifically, there's an industry that I didn't recognize.
Solaris Incorporated.
Right. But anyways, and can't get in. We find out that 10 years ago that they had been traveling through the tunnels and been using it as a trade route. And then one day it just shut down, and a bunch of ponies, about 24 ponies, were trapped inside. And after a couple hours of trying to get out, all of a sudden they heard gunfire.
And all of them
screaming.
Silence. Yeah. Which is a terrifying thing.
Yeah. And at the end of this chapter, we don't necessarily have all the answers to that. But anyways, so Puppy's determined to get in. They're like, you can't go in. We're not going to let you in. And so she just asks Mr. Suit.
Well, one of them jammed gun kind of as an aside. Well, I mean, TNT was saying you could get in using the vents, and as soon as Puppy Smile's eyes just go wide, like ooh,
vents.
Trigger Happy turns and tries to pretty much just restrains herself from wailing on him because she's like, stop giving her ideas.
Yeah. So Puppy Smiles finds her way in through the vents. She gets a whole map layout from the database, basically from her super fancy smart suit, and proceeds in. And a couple hours go by, and Trigger Happy realizes that Puppy Smiles is gone and is going in after her. How could she have let this poor child go into this, what is assuredly death for her?
She's not some magical creature. She's not some demonic force of good. Right. She's just a child, and as a child, she will die if she steps foot in there.
So anyways, so she's about to go in, and jammed gun?
Jammed gun.
Jammed gun, is fussing at her and saying, no, you shouldn't go in there. You'll die too. And confesses his love for her. And he's loved her for 12 years quietly, even though he's a coward and shy. And then we find out that Trigger Happy apparently had a bad breakup with some bad stallion, and is now into women.
Which point I wrote in the notes, which are not up. Poor cantaloupe dose.
Yeah, right.
Get while the getting's good, boys.
But anyways, so she follows in where she thinks Puppy Smiles has gone, and here's gunfire. And then we cut back to Puppy Smiles in the midst of an encounter.
Mm-hmm. This is another expose on how robots are handled a little more viciously in the FOE universe than they are in Fallout originally. They are shown to be kind of how robot attackers would be, which is nigh indestructible murder death machines. Mm-hmm. I mean, the second they start shooting, what can you do? You can't damage them with bullets in the same way you can damage a person.
Well, and remember, there's three types. There's happy bots, there's bully bots, and then there's whiny bots.
Yep.
The happy bots are nice and friendly, and they help you. There's the bully bots that try and kill you. And then, of course, there's the whiny bots that just tell you alarms.
Yeah.
Like
Mr. Voice is... Yeah, Mr. Voice is a whiny bot most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting classification. We also see... So basically, Puppy Smiles gets cornered by these sentinels. And they shoot her, but they don't know what to do when shooting doesn't stop something. So she just, like, eviscerates them. She grabs out the Rock of Destiny and just smashes their faces in.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the one upside, is that she could just continuously wail on them.
But anyways, Trigger Happy rushes in and is trying to save the day, and day's already been saved. There's Puppy Smiles and a bunch of dead sentinels. And to keep this in mind, the sentinels are the big, scary, super duper war robots. You know?
Yeah, the sentries from Fallout.
Yeah,
that were terrifying in Fallout 3, and holy motherfucking shit, terrifying in Fallout 4.
Yeah, they were very hard in Fallout 4. They gave them a weak spot in Fallout 4 at least.
They gamified it a little too hard for my liking, but they moved like shit because they had that charge attack where they would just come out of the darkness and fuck your shit up, man.
Yeah. But let's face it, those things were designed to be mobile tanks. I mean, they were designed to do that. Mm-hmm. But anyways, but in that moment, Trigger Happy is telling Puppy Smiles, listen, we need to get out of here. Your mom's not here. Even if she is, she's got to be long dead. We need to get out of here. And Puppy Smiles gives her just like this...
The puppy eyes.
Look. Maybe I'm thinking of two separate looks.
Well, she explains earlier in the chapter that like at the beginning, she says that puppy eyes, that look she gives, should be military contraband.
Right, but so it's later that she says specifically, like, you never want to be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
But, she realized in that moment that all of this that Puppy Smiles is just a facade. She tries to cover her anger with enthusiasm, but that at some point, it's kind of a plant. At some point, it's going to break, and somebody's going to be on the receiving end of all of that anger.
Yeah.
I want to say, I feel like the writing was a lot better in this chapter. I feel like Mimezinga is finally starting to hit their stride. I feel like some of the references are better. Like there's a reference to, I think it's Jammed Gun saying, looking at a space, or Trigger Happy looking at a space that was previously occupied by, you know, something the size and shape of Puppy Smiles.
Yes.
And that's a nice little touch there. I like that description.
There was something missing, a particular space devoid of this.
Yeah, the same color and shape of Puppy Smiles.
Yeah, a certain cleverness.
Yeah, I like that. I really do think, like, not that I just feel like the writing stepped up a bit, and we kind of ended on a little bit of another cliffhanger at the end of this chapter.
Yep.
So Puppy Smiles convinces Trigger Happy that they should proceed. They continue to proceed, and they come upon what is the mother sentinel. It's like 3 times the size of a normal sentinel. It's armed with dozens of guns, guns that Trigger Happy couldn't even identify. You know, like I don't even know what the hell that is. So probably magical energy weapons, I would think. But when it says, you know, halt, stop, Puppy Smiles then gives the magic code.
Yeah.
And at the time that it asks, you know, identify yourself, and Puppy Smiles, you know, I'm Puppy Smiles. And by this, Trigger Happy is like, oh man, we need to get the frick out of here, man. So she grabs Puppy Smiles and is like running away. And it's like, access approved, you know, like daughter of rainy days.
Yeah.
And it's like, say what now?
What?
So they get in there and basically kick on some generators. Get, you know, it's a bunch of decrepit systems, but they take an elevator up in the mountain to an observatory and control room for the entire facility.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we end the chapter. Puppy Smiles is looking for her mother. There's no signs of her mother. And that's where we have the encounter where Trigger Happy's like, I don't think your mom's here. And that's when Puppy Smiles gives her that like dead, ghostly stare.
Yeah.
That she's like, oh, I don't ever want to tell her. I don't ever want to tell her we don't have something she needs, you know, like I don't want to be on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, it's there's a few images that people have made of like Canterlot ghouls and like the haunting dead glowing eyes that they would have. And it's like, imagine somebody who's small and just, you know, happy and bright, and you tell them something upsetting and they just look at you with these dead light eyes, just be like, oh, okay.
Well, I glazed over this, but down in the tunnel, when Trigger Happy finds Puppy Smiles, she rushes and runs up to her, and then only realizes as her skin starts to burn that she's enveloped in a pink cloud.
Yep.
And she backs away quickly and downs, you know, a healing potion, which very likely saved her life. We know that healing potions can stave off the effects of the pink cloud from Fall at Equestria when they went to Canterlot. But she says, you're a Canterlot ghoul. And she says, well, I'm technically from, what was it? Cloverleaf Terrace, Cloverleaf something.
Ooh.
It's just below Canterlot. I was just reading it. But anyway, she's like, well, technically I'm from here, but it's below Canterlot. So yeah, I'm from Canterlot. But anyways, the whole thing there is that it's like, oh, she realizes how freaking scary. She's like, you should not be here. You do not belong here. You know, but in that moment, she also realizes that this is a child. This child has no idea what's going on.
She's a demon. She's effectively
a demon. Literally a demon. Yeah. Not a ghost. Yeah. But in this moment, she's like, all right, listen, you've been a guard for 10 years. You stiffen up. Come on. You can handle this. You know, and you've got to push forward. You've got to help this girl. She's just a little girl, you know, a little foal. Philly. Foal is
unisex. Philly is
girl. Okay, gotcha. Cloverleaf Terrace. Hey, what do you know? I was right about that.
Yep.
But anyways, so they get up to the observation deck, and there's big windows that look out at the valley below. And then all these control monitors as well. So it kind of seems like the way it's described is it's like, you know, as far as the wasteland is, it's kind of beautiful up there because you have a vista that you can kind of see everything.
They also explain, or Mr. Voice explained in passing, and this is also puts to Mimezinga's writing and ability to structure things a little better, is that part of the facility, it could only get some of the blueprints due to military restriction.
Right. So there's more to this facility than we realize.
Yeah, and it also explains possibly what the backstory that occurred was.
Well, that there was a power failure, and that the backup mode was it was like lockdown. Power fails, lockdown.
Yeah.
And so what happened is the ponies that were trapped inside were very likely just executed because they didn't belong there. You know, they didn't have any of the credentials.
Yeah, it got confused, and rather than a safety lockdown, it went into a security lockdown. And as soon as you have a security lockdown, everything needs to get removed.
Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the chapter. We also got to level up. Apparently now when she uses her rock, it reduces enemies' armor by 10 points, or you ignore 10 points of their armor.
Yep.
It's like, because she just faced probably one of the most heavily armored things in Fall at Equestria.
Yeah. So they're called the Rock of Destiny out of chance.
Yeah. But yeah, so where we leave off, we don't know where we're going, and we don't know what else they might find in this facility for the time being. But theoretically, I would assume, I'm going to guess that they would be able to open the road again. And considering Tunneltown has been dying, just there's no reason for people.
52 has been dying. They explained that in the chapter. A conversation between Trigger Happy and Jam Gun. They describe about how when the Big 52, when they were younger, because it was more of a desolate area, during the war, it wasn't really heavily bombed, and so it didn't really. Nothing really changed aside from not much change there. You had a whole bunch of these tribes that came up from the powers that be beforehand. But as time moved on, there's an increase in slavers due to Red Eye's increased sphere of influence. Raiders from just the fact that people were going mad and trying to kill each other, and disease, and a lot of the stuff was just failing. And so life in that area had just declined, even over Trigger Happy and Jammed Gun's lifetimes.
So would you say that, Pink Eyes, if you had to pick a particular Fallout game world space that it tends to follow, I have an idea of where I think it tends to follow, but tell me which Fallout game world space you think it more closely follows.
I'd say it goes with New Vegas.
Okay, that's what I was going to guess as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feel I get. It's kind of like you've got the things you recognize, but it feels almost like we're heading southwest the whole time.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but you also have to deal with the fact that in any of the previous Fallout games, I actually have not played Tactics, so I can't say. There was no importance on roads. Roads had no meaning. In Fallout 3, there was no. The only infrastructure you had that was left over of roads were the superhighways, the elevated superhighways, and that was it.
Right.
And in Fallout New Vegas, there was actually a road you had to follow, and so it did give some semblance of tying you to a roadway.
Sure. The Strip. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of that. There was a lot more path-oriented stuff in New Vegas, and as well, the thing that really clicks that it was more based on New Vegas than 3 is that the rock ignores armor condition, which the armor class effect only was in New Vegas. There was actually no damage threshold modifier in 3. It just added to a general resistance.
Yeah, general resistance. So yeah, all in all, like I said, I feel like this was a very, dialogue seemed better, storytelling seemed better, the world space was interesting. It's definitely improving, and that's kind of one of the nice things about when you read a fan fiction is that you can see it, hopefully improving over time. Some I would say kind of devolve over time because they run out of ideas.
Yeah, there's that. It depends on how long you go and what if your initial premise is still on track, or whether or not you've circumvented dealing with whatever EC 1101 is for the 17th time.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Somber. Have to throw you under the bus for that one.
Yeah, but anyways, it seems like for the ones that don't, it seems like Mimezinga has a very well thought out idea of where the story's going to go. And then they may have started writing and just would write and, had a loose idea. I get the feeling like when we've talked to K-Cat that, K-Cat had like everything planned out and then it was just a matter of writing the storyline, that she'd already put together.
Yep.
But it is good to see kind of the story improve as we go along. So, since we've kind of wrapped up with our thoughts and synopsis of the story, it's that time again, Chris.
Okay.
It's your favorite time of the week.
We had a spoiler for this one, but go ahead and hit me.
That's right. I'm speaking, of course, of which, the Pony Pun of the Week.
Oh.
The Pony Pun of the Week, Chris, is Cult of Personality. Cult of Personality.
That would be Button Mash.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Oh, so
but it came up But that came up because we were talking about cult of personality earlier this week, and it was just too easy. It was too easy to pass up.
Earlier this week. Well, we did talk about it earlier this week, but also, last night.
No. But I'm talking about, so y'all should go check out our Walkabout series. Little plug for the Walkabout series. That's just Chris and I walking around and talking about stuff. And I thought it was really fun and funny. But we actually talk about cults for a little bit. We kind of meander into cult and, what a cult would look like if Chrisco was a cult.
Yeah. So let's go into a few questions. I want to say.
I love Moonblaze keeps hammering on the cult being cut off your fingertips. That's all we demand of our followers. Just cut off the tips of your fingers. It's very easy.
No fingerprints.
Let's see here. Mimezinga, one thing I do want to say, says the story was written more or less after Lonesome Road from Fallout New Vegas went out. The main inspiration besides Fallout Equestria was New Vegas, but also a lot of things from Fallout 1 and 2. Never played Wastelands. Nobody played Wastelands.
Nobody. Wasteland Tactics? But anyway, Last Place brought in an interesting thing that I kind of harken back to as an overarching theme in the Fallout Equestria universe. It seems like this fiction has its own messed up little company that makes things that screw up things worse than stable tech. And you'll see that as a recurring theme in this universe as a whole, is that the world is filled with these steel traps that are tension from the war and just ready to go off on whoever happens upon them.
Yeah.
And you could say that very easily it's because it's a society which very rapidly militarized itself. And so they didn't really have much foresight into safety or concern for after effects as much as just making it work now. We have the ability to make it work now. We can make it as lethal as possible. Make it work now. It's very short-sighted in its gung-ho approach towards militarization.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, also, it was a time when magic was more readily available. There were more known magic users. They knew how to use magic. And so there was this idea that, well, if anything happens, we've still got powerful magic users who can take care of things.
Even then, I think it's also the exact same blind, headlong approach towards problem solving that got them into the situation in the first place.
Sure.
Because everything was just a little bit more.
It's just a bunch of freaking naive ponies that are suddenly building H-bombs, man. Come on. It's yeah, of course there's some problems.
And that's what I mean, is that eventually you just keep going with that that problem. And so you're going to find these companies who, not really by any necessary malice, they just thought that what they were doing was necessary. It's a danger. It's probably one of the reasons that the book and the setting is so good, is that there is an inherent truth to the idea that everybody kind of just says at one point or another in their life, it doesn't matter, just do it. And it ends in failure. And you're like, well, why did it end in failure? Because you absolutely did not think of the repercussions of what you were doing. You just went for it anyway.
Right.
And so this I want to say, I don't want to call it a book series, but this kind of collective idea, collective stories, they all kind of go for that. It's like, well, what happens if we just throw caution to the wind and go headlong into the unknown, guns a-blazing?
Yeah.
Eventually we'll destroy ourselves and make a world more dangerous for our offspring, our children, than any could possibly imagine.
Yeah, too true. Well, I'm excited to see where the story goes. And we're, 7 chapters in, so third of the way there?
Yep.
Third of the way? Yeah. It'll be good to see. I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy reading it. I enjoy getting to the to kind of see where we're headed next. And it's nice to see a little bit more development of Puppy Smiles, as the character is kind of growing a little bit more, but also getting more frustrated. She's kind of becoming more and more of a monster as she goes along.
Yeah.
There's also a theme of spanking in this episode. There's been no mention of spankings up till now. And now there's a ton of mentions of spankings.
Hey, Mimezinga was inspired. But regardless, thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is Chris, and with me here today,
Robert, of course. And thank you for being here. Thanks for always supporting us. Thanks for sharing the channel. One quick note, we just hit over 400 subscribers. Yep. Thank you. Huzzah.
It wasn't that long ago that we were shooting for 100.
I know. That's the crazy thing. But we wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Remember, you can always support us just by sharing our videos. We have a Patreon. You can check us out there. Otherwise, we love it. The more we can hang out, the more we can do stuff. We're playing TF2 and OpenTTD more often, just kind of like as a hangout get together. I think there's some other ideas of things to do. If you have suggestions for things you'd like us to do or for us to kind of do together as a group, let us know. I think there was some talk with KCAT about trying to put together a Fallout 76 hashtag squad. But of course, I have to get Fallout 76 for us to do that. But I think that could be really fun. We could be the Foally of Man squad, you know?
Yeah.
Or we could be KCAT's crew.
The KCAT. Oh no.
Christopher's Rough Riders.
Well, no, I was thinking we could do crew with a K. So
yeah.
KCAT.
Oh no.
The KKK.
And on that note, thank you very much for tuning in to the Foally of Man. For Chris, I'm Robert, and we will see y'all next week.